I enjoy running, and from time to time I participate in marathons or trail running. I have to admit that I don't win these competitions, but I finish, which gives me a sense of achievement. I'd probably have an even greater sense of achievement if I won one, but I'd have to train a lot harder to do so, which would turn a fun holiday into hard work. I'm probably not the most competitive person, but training hard just to show that you can run 25 miles a few seconds faster than someone else seems pretty futile to me. I mean, who really cares? I just need to stay in shape to cover the distance. And yes, I know that a marathon is not 25 miles, but a little more. But then again, who cares? It was a long weekend, and one of the nearby resort towns was holding a marathon as part of their festivities. I went with them, took part, and finished among the first. I'm competitive enough that I don't want to be the last one to come home. After that, I went back to the motel where I had booked to get a good night's sleep. I challenge anyone who has trouble sleeping after running a marathon. I had nothing planned at home for the next day and decided to stay in the resort town for the day, catching the bus home in the late afternoon. I was traveling by bus because my car was currently disabled due to mechanical problems. Would you believe that the transmission snagged and tore the engine from its mounts? Damn it. But it was an exciting few moments. I didn't bother to fix the old car. It's cheaper to find another old car and drive it until it dies. The landfill was a desirable place for the old lady. I checked out of the motel and started wandering around the city, doing nothing special and enjoying it. I had what little I had with me in a small backpack and could leave at any time, provided there was a bus available at that moment. I was walking along the road next to the beach, admiring the girls on the beach, and thinking about going for a swim. Ahead of me walked a lovely young lady, pushing a cart full of groceries. Now I could have overtaken her quite easily as she was moving slowly, but she was between me and the sun thus shone through her dress, outlining the silhouette of a very beautiful figure. I stayed and admired the spectacle. When the road made a turn and the sun was no longer shining so favorably, I quickened my pace a little and was soon walking next to her. Although I described her as a sweet young creature, I must admit that she was older than me. I guess she was in her early 20s. She also walked very carefully, looking like a little old lady with fragile bones. Curious, I asked her if she was okay. "I can't help but notice that you're walking very carefully," I added. "No," she said, giving me an annoyed look. "I'm not okay. Yesterday my husband made me run a damn marathon. He runs like a rabbit through the mountains, and I run around like a turtle suffering from lumbago. He dragged me along the whole damn distance, making sure I finished. Now he's hired a charter and takes tourists fishing for the day while I buy groceries even though I can barely walk. Everything hurts, so no, I'm not okay." I couldn't stop laughing. I knew what it was like to run unprepared and how much it hurts the next day. I decided to voluntarily do my good deed for this day. "I'll tell you what," I said. "For a cup of coffee, I'll take your groceries home and help you unpack them. After that, I'll take the cart back to the supermarket, saving you time on the way back." She didn't hesitate for a second. She simply walked away from the cart, saying, "It's agreed." I figured out why pretty quickly. It turned out that the cart had 3 square wheels, and the 4th wheel was locked in place. Not the easiest thing to put pressure. "Come on," I said with a grin. The correct term is alternative medicine, although it is not actually a medicine. What I do is more of a self-massage using certain oils. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone who is really sick, but it's normal for stiff and sore muscles. The combination of natural oils, massage, and delicate aroma works wonders. In addition, visiting an aromatherapist would be expensive, Diana noted. We got to the point where we exchanged names. "Only if you don't take advantage of me. I'm not like that. Various oils are inexpensive, and the right combination makes a big difference. For you, given how you are feeling right now, I would use some violet oil and rub it in." "Yeah, but that means I'll have to drag myself back to the mall and find out if it's sold anywhere. I might as well stay home today." "Actually, I could probably help you right now. My sister, God bless her sweetheart, bought me a bottle of violet oil. It's in my backpack along with the oils I usually use. For some reason, I just can't imagine myself walking around smelling violets. There are other scents that I like better." I reached into my backpack, found violet oil, and placed it on the table. You might as well take him, I told Diana. That way I can tell my sister I used it. She took the bottle, looked at it and read the instructions, but seemed slightly hesitant. I don't know. I'm not sure I could massage it properly, she muttered. It's easy to fix, I told her. I could. I trailed off and then changed what I was going to say. Ah, no, maybe I couldn't. You could or couldn't what? She asked curiously. Well, I was going to say that I took massage lessons and could rub you if you took off your dress and laid down, I told her. But then it dawned on me what I wanted to say. Sorry. I blushed slightly as I explained. Maybe not, Diana said with a smile. She stood up to put the coffee mugs in the sink and groaned. It turned out that sitting and drinking coffee gave her the opportunity to tense up again. Does this really work? She asked. For me it is, I said carefully. As for you? I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway, she grumbled. It hurts too much to rub it in. She gave me a searching look. Have you done any training to be a massage therapist? She asked. A little, I admitted. But I'm not an experienced massage therapist, just an amateur. But if you rub oil on me, will I feel better? Just a massage would help you relax. The oil will also help keep you supple, and there's a vaunted violet scent that you could probably use with a pinch of salt. You will do this? If you agree, then yes, I told her. You would need to lie down on something hard, not a bed or a sofa, as they tend to have too much give. I assume you don't have a massage table available. Oh no, not really. I actually have a really nice rug in my living room on wood floorboards. Will this work? That should be enough, I told her, and followed her into the front room. She took off her dress and, damn, she was wearing a pretty skimpy bikini. Apparently she intended to go swimming later. I laid her on her stomach, applied some oil, and began the massage. I stared at her neck and shoulders, then went down to her legs and worked my way up again. I added a little more oil, and then unclasped my bikini bra, bottom clamp only. It's in the way, I told her before she could protest, and resumed the rubbing. When I reached my bikini bottom, I sighed. This really needs to go, I told her. Don't let that bother you. I will not take unfair advantage. It was too late to let it bother her, as I had already pulled her bikini off and tossed it aside. I continued the massage, gently rubbing her buttocks along the way. After removing the bikini, I was able to give her a fairly thorough and gentle massage, and I felt her relax as I rubbed her legs and body. Happy with my work up to this point, I asked her to turn over. She froze, and I sighed. I've seen a woman's body before, I said, and I'm known for not attacking younger women or even women who are older than me. Just roll over and pretend it's dark or something. She swallowed and rolled over onto her back, closing her eyes. Fair. If she can't see me, then I can't see her. I poured some oil on her tummy and started massaging her. I started working from her shoulders down again. Yes, I oiled her breasts, but it was completely impersonal, so it's not my fault. It's my job, and I have to do it well. Yes, I noticed that she likes everything I do, and she begins to relax. I was also very careful as I moved down her legs. From her ankles, I moved back to her shoulders, and then back, repeating the way down. Naturally, I had to apply some oil to the inside of her legs and thighs, but again, I was careful. Well, I admit that with the back of my hand, I could have touched other parts of her body, and this was completely inevitable. I took equal care by repeating the massage several times, from the shoulders down to the ankles, and then back up to the shoulders. I was quite pleased with myself after this last massage session. Her muscles were completely relaxed, just like Diana. My job was effectively done. I brought my hands back to her body and began to massage it more thoroughly, sometimes touching her private parts. Diana's eyes widened when I did this, and a strange expression appeared on her face. Before she could protest, my hands dropped again. I slid them over her breasts and went lower and lower, rubbing the oil firmly into her body, massaging back and forth. It seemed to me that she was somewhat agitated, and it seemed to me that the only correct solution was that I should help her a little. Now, as I actively stroked Diana's body, and then I began to go lower and lower. I began to gently stroke her. Her eyes were not just open, but wide open. "Ah, excuse me," she said, seeming to have difficulty holding her breath. "I thought you said you wouldn't take unfair advantage." "It was while I was getting a massage," I explained. "Now I'm done with the massage." "Then what are you doing?" "Am I preparing you before I make sweet love to you?" I suggested. "What?" she asked, screaming slightly. "I think you better stop right now." "I wouldn't want to," I said thoughtfully, "because I think you're ready, and I like touching you." "What do you mean, ready?" "Ready to receive me," I said calmly. "You're right. It's time to end this." Kneeling down, I unbuckled my belt and pulled down my pants and shorts, showing that I was ready too. "You don't seriously want to have sex with me?" she protested. "Yes, sure. Why not? You can think of it as a continuation of the massage, this time internally." I bent down and got as close as possible to her. I just stood there for a moment, and Diana raised her head slightly to see me better. When she didn't say anything, I decisively leaned forward and pressed myself tightly against her, feeling her body give in and accept me. At that moment, it was the first and only contact between us. "You need to be attentive to the client when you give a massage," I said softly. "I'm sure you understand that." "Yes, everything needs to be done thoroughly," she whispered. The pleasure of taking her was starting to give me pleasure. I couldn't stand this slow torture any longer. Not that Diana seemed to find it painful. Now I was able to increase the pace, and I wanted to increase it significantly. I increased my speed, and Diana moved smoothly next to me. It occurred to me that while Diana may not have been a runner, she had her own experience with exercise. I was now completely absorbed in receiving pleasure and hopefully giving it as well. Judging by the way Diana responded, I would have to say that I excelled in both areas. "Does aromatherapy work?" I asked. "Do your muscles hurt?" "It's definitely working," she breathed. "There is a little stiffness, but I'm sure I can get rid of it if I have a little more time." I was damn sure she could, the way she was doing her exercises now. Her breathing was rapid and hoarse, but then again, who wasn't? I was almost out of breath from the effort I was putting in. I decided that I had to finish what I started or die, and I did everything I could to convince her to do the same. She did everything in her power to win that race, but I came to the finish line first with great zeal for victory, but I think I can claim a draw since she also came to the finish line a moment later. I lay down on the floor next to her, completely exhausted. She simply stretched and seemed to purr. I would have sworn she was ready for a second run, but that would never have happened to me. "I feel great," she announced. "This aromatherapy is really relaxing. Can I keep the rest of this bottle?" "Be so kind," I said. "Yes, I need to take the cart back to the supermarket for you. If you let me go?" This cunning woman giggled as I left. She knew exactly what she did to me, and she really enjoyed it. As for me, I went back to the supermarket, returned the cart as promised, and then went in search of the next bus. This city was dangerous for me.